Hi kids, it's Miss Julie. I'm here today to do a project with you that a lot of you have been asking for, and that is a horse. Now horses can be a bit tricky, even for me, especially because their legs can kind of look like they're going in multiple directions. So if you feel more comfortable using a pencil today, I want you to go ahead and do that. I'm going to use a Sharpie. But sometimes you feel a little bit more comfortable with a pencil, and a horse is one of those times that you might want to do that. But if you're feeling fearless like I am, that I'm just going to use my Sharpie and I'm just going to go for it. And we're going to go ahead and draw this horse. Now, because of the time that this video is being released, I gave it a little bit of a holiday color scheme to its saddle and gave it some bells like it had just gotten off pulling a sleigh. But you might be doing this video in the middle of summer, so you might want to have palm trees here instead of pine trees. So by all means, do that. But I'm at least gonna focus on the horse today, and then you can have fun decorating the background to wherever your horse might be. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw our horse's head. Now we're going to start with the nose, which is a U shape. Now a horse's head is a little bit more narrow at the bottom than it is at the top. So we're going to place our paper horizontal and we're going to draw a U. So that is the bottom of our horse's head, it's its nose. Now as we bring these lines up, we want them to get a little bit wider. So we don't want them to just come straight up. We want them to get a little bit wider and then curve in. Same thing with this one. We want it to get a little bit wider and then curve in. Then we're going to give it its ears. So we're going to draw a curved line up, come to a point, and down. Same thing on the other side. Curved line up, come to a point, and then down, and then go ahead and connect those ears. Now I like to see the inside of my horse's ears. So I'm going to go to the point of my horse's ear and draw a curved line that goes to the outside. Same thing on this side, start at the point, curved line that goes to the outside. Now I'm going to give my horse some nostrils. And this horse just got off pulling a sleigh, so it's got its bridle on still. So I'm going to draw a stripe that goes across the nose and another one here. And then this will allow me to give the horse some facial features, like those beautiful stripes that they have on their face, by drawing a curved line that goes all the way up to the top and another curved line. And then go ahead and give your horse some eyes. Now I'm going to give mine some rainbow lines because mine is super happy today. And we're going to go ahead and draw the front of the horse's body. So the front of the horse's body, there's a curve that's going to come all the way down, and it's going to stop where we're going to be drawing the first leg. So starting right here where that ear meets the face is where we're going to draw our curved line. It's going to come down and stop. When it stops, it's going to change direction, and it's suddenly going to go this way. And that is the front of, or the first part of the horse's first leg. Now the hooves, instead of being straight down, are a little angled outwards. So I'm going to change, this line is going this way, it's going to change and go out just a little bit. And then I'm going to draw a short line underneath, and then a line up, and that will get its hoof. And you can go ahead and color that in with your marker if you would like. Now I'm going to draw the other part of this horse's first leg, and this first part is going to be parallel, so it's going to go fairly close to this first line, just like this. But right when it gets past it, it's going to change a little bit, and it's going to kind of get wider. So my horse ends up having a little bit, it's thick up here and then it gets thin here. I'm going to go ahead and draw a little shallow U for my horse's belly, about a finger length long. Otherwise your horse will look really, really long. And then I'm going to come back and draw my horse's second front leg here. So the second front leg is coming out of a little bit higher up along this line, and it's going to come out horizontally and then it's going to bend down. And again with the hoof, this line's going down this way, so we're going to angle it a little bit more, draw a short line underneath, have the line come up and the line go over, and you can go ahead and color in your horse's hoof. And then this bottom portion of the horse's leg is fairly skinny, so this line's going to come up the same way. But when we get to this top line here, we don't want this part of the horse's leg to be skinny too. We want it to be a little wider. That means we don't want it to connect right here. We want to have it connect here. So I'm going to put my finger here just to remember that I don't want it to be as close to this line, and draw my line straight to it. There we go. We made it through the horse's front two legs. Now we're going to work on those back legs. So we have our stomach. Slightly above our stomach, I'm going to make a dot. That is where I'm going to start the horse's first back leg. Now this horse's back leg, and I'm going to use my finger to demonstrate first, is going to curve this way and then change direction this way. So right at the dot, I'm going to draw my line. It's going to curve this way, and then it's going to change direction. And remember what I said about the hooves here? So we're going to draw the little hoof going out a little bit farther, a little line underneath, a little line up, a little line over. Go ahead and color in that hoof. Now again, this bottom portion is skinny, so we can just follow the line up until we get to this part of the horse. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. It doesn't just come out the same way that the front leg does. It comes out in a little bit of a different way. So right at the back leg, it's going to come in a little bit, and then it's going to go around for the horse's bottom. So watch me really slowly. From right here, we're going to go up just a little bit, and then we're going to curve around. You see this curve? And we're going to come around to the horse's bottom, and then we're going to come straight into the horse's nose. So we came up from the back foot, we started going this way, then we curved, and then we curved around for the horse's bottom, and we went into that nose. Now this is one of his legs. He needs another back leg, and we're going to just follow the lines that we did for this one. Right here, we're going to come down, and we're going to change direction again and put that other hoof in right there. Now our horse has no tail. It has no mane, so let's go ahead and take care of that tail first. So the tail's going to come right out of here. It's going to go up and it's going to go down, and you can give it some zigzag lines and have it come all the way back up and attach to your horse's backside. Then we're going to come and we're going to give him a mane. So we have all this room on this side of our horse for our mane. So starting right here at the ear, we're going to come down and out and back in. Down and out, back in, down and out, back in. Almost looks like a pine tree. And you can go ahead and give your horse a different style mane if you'd like. Mine is kind of shaking his mane in the wind, and so that's why you see that. Now this area here, if you'd like to give your horse like a saddle blanket, you can do that now. So from the back, come down, come across, and then back up, and then go ahead and decorate your blanket however you want. But the one thing I'm going to do is attach this blanket to the horse like it was attached to a sleigh by drawing two short lines that come out of the front part and two short lines that come out of the back part. And then I'm going to decorate my blanket. So I'm going to go ahead and give it some pom-poms, like they were dangling from this beautiful blanket. And again, you don't need to use any specific colors. Use whatever you like. Decorate this however you want. You can even decorate it with flowers if that's what you wanted to do. I'm going to come down. You can even put some diagonal stripes in here. Okay. I'm also going to give him some jingle bells. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a curved line here on his neck and another one. And go ahead and give him some jingle bells. So here's 3 circles. And then inside, I'm just going to draw just a couple, 3 little tiny lines. And they don't have to join up, and it'll make it look like they're bells. So I have my beautiful horse, and I hope you have a horse too. I'm going to go ahead and draw some pine trees in the background. And my pine trees, my first one is going to be over here, and it's going to be really, really, really big, and that means it's closer to the viewer. So I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to draw a line down, and I'm going to wiggle, 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 and then back up to the top. So that's going to be the top of my first one. Now I'm going to make some more layers like that, but every single time I'm not going to start right at the edge. I'm going to start slightly inward, and I'm going to come down, wiggle, 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 and come back up. And I'm going to keep repeating. I might run into my horse. And this one will go off the page. And I think I might be able to get one more in. I think this one's going to be so big, and then this is going to get a nice trunk at the bottom. And I'm going to add a couple, I think I'm going to add one more in here before I do my horizon line, and that's the line that differentiates where the ground is from the sky. I think I'm going to draw one maybe up here. So again, I'm going to come down, wiggle, 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 come down, wiggle, wiggle. Now you won't see part of this, but you would see these wiggly lines. And I'm going to give it a big trunk. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw my horizon line way up here. So that's where the snow is, or the grass, just depending. And then if you want, you can make it look like you have a big sunset or sunrise in the background. Makes it extra pretty. Okay, and we are now ready to color. So you can get out markers, you can get out crayons, you can choose whatever color you want for your horse. I think I'm gonna do this one brown. Now this one I chose to do with these holiday colors, and I might choose something like that here, but I think I'm going to choose blues and maybe purples for my colors for this horse. And this strap would probably be brown, so I'm going to use the same crayon, but this time I'm going to press really hard. So it looks like a different color. Go back to coloring my horse. And I bet you that some of you who are doing this lesson right now might do a rainbow horse. I have a feeling. Go in between. And what's nice about the Sharpie is this crayon is going to color right over those lines. As I'm trying to figure out what colors I'm going to do and what color I'm going to use on my blanket. have the color of my horse, I think I'm going to actually choose black for the tail and for the mane. And nobody said your horse has to have realistic colors. So if you're thinking you want a blue horse, that's exactly what I want you to create. Okay. Now that I have my horse done, and I'm going to leave this part white. Oh, I've missed the top part of the bridle here. I'm going to go in and give my horse's ears the inside, make them bright pink. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to figure out what color I want to make for this. And I think I'm going to choose some purples and some blues this time. And I'm going to use the same color as I do in the stripes down here in these little pom-poms. Actually, what color should I use? See, even I don't know sometimes. There we go. That is a pretty color next to that purple, that blue. So you can design your own patterns. And I'm going to use this blue now, since I'm right here, to make this part blue. So when you have a color in your artwork, you want to make sure it appears in other places too. Make sure that there's some blue pom-poms down here, and then I need a third color here. I think I'm going to use this really bright green. I thought I was going to go blues, but apparently I wanted to do cool colors. And sometimes that happens. You have an idea at first and then it changes midway through. Now I do need a fun color around the edge here, but you know what I might do? I think I might actually use black. Now why would I use black? Because you notice how my mane and my tail are black? And when I color this black around the edge, it makes the colors inside the blanket really pop. And I like it when my colors really stand out, especially since it's going to be on white snow. So if you want to make your snow look a little bit more white as you're coloring it, get a gray crayon and make a few little scribbles with that gray. It'll make it look like places where the horse put its foot down, some shadows, like some holes that animals were running through. And it'll look a lot more white by coloring it gray than it would if you just left it pure white. I'm going to go ahead and color my sun. And I want this really bright because I have these colors of the horse that aren't as bright. So I want the sun to really stand out as well. Plus, bright yellow is just such a pretty color. Okay. So now as I'm looking, I'm thinking, what other colors do I need here? I don't have to have trees that are green, do I? Now, you can do that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw or color in the bottoms of these green, or sorry, not green, brown. I'm thinking about green, but I'm actually thinking about doing something else. I'm thinking it would be really pretty to take these trees and turn them different. Now here is my original sample, and I chose to use different colors of green in my pine trees, but I can do something completely different here. So if you're thinking, I want to do a tree that doesn't look like a tree that I would find, yep, you guessed it, I'm not going to do one that you would find in nature either. But wouldn't it be pretty to come up with a tree that is this color and maybe some other rainbow colors too? And this color is in this blanket, so it's a really pretty fit. So now I'm going to take an orange and it's going to kind of look like a rainbow tree, but I'm not entirely certain I'm actually going to do a rainbow tree or if I'm just going to do bright colors. And you might be thinking, that is the strangest pine tree that I've ever seen. And that's good because I want my art to look different from everyone else's. Let's see. Oh, I have gold, so maybe I will do a rainbow. This is a sparkly dark yellow. It has a golden look to it, and that sparkle might not show up in this video, but when I tilt it in the light, my trees are going to sparkle, and I'm okay with that. And you notice how I went this way and I went this way on the other tree? So that's kind of fun to do too. Okay, now I am going to do green. I'll do just a little bit of green in my tree. And you can see I am not following any of the rules of what colors this tree and this horse need to be. And so if you're not feeling like following any of the rules either, then that's okay. Now, if you are coloring yours with realistic colors, that's okay too. I love seeing both. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna find let's see, this blue for this last part of my tree. I have these beautiful rainbow trees. Can you imagine going into a forest with rainbow trees? And then this gets one at the top. And finally, I'm going to choose a color for the sky, but I'm not going to choose the same blue as I just used. I'm going to find another blue. And this one's a little bit lighter. So that way everything sticks out just a little bit more. So finishing coloring by just adding a little bit of light blue, and I'm just pressing very lightly, so I'm just adding a little bit of color. That way my horse and my trees take center stage. So there you have it. I want you to take a look at how different these look with the colors, and then you can choose what you want to do. Do you want to do something different with rainbow trees, or do you want to do something more traditional and more realistic? That is totally up to you, but I'll see you next time.